Hi guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing my March TBR. So February was a really good reading month for me again. Although it was a short month, I felt like I got a lot of reading done, but already I've got quite a few things to talk to you about that are on my March TBR, and then of course I'm going to be drawing out my BookTuber recommends pick and what my theme is going to be for March too. So let's jump into what is going to be on my March TBR. The first book that I'm going to put on my March TBR is Brain on Fire, and this is by Susanna Cahalan, I think that's how you pronounce that. This is a non-fiction book about the writer's experience when she had some sort of a sort of collapse, and then things were happening in her brain that the doctors couldn't really work out what was wrong with her. I've heard really good things about this, and I'm yet to complete a non-fiction book in 2018, so I really do need to get my bum in gear with that. So yeah, I talked about this I think in my New Year's tag. As a book that I was quite anticipating for 2018, I really wanted to read. So picking out a non-fiction book for this month, I thought, right, I'll grab that and I'll give that a go in March. The next book on my March TBR is The Unseen World, and this is by Liz Moore. Put this book on my TBR because it is March Mystery Madness, and that's kind of like a month-long readathon that's being hosted by a range of different people, including Lisa from Books and Smiles and Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books. So I'll leave a link to some of their announcement videos down below so you can go and check those out. But they're doing a month-long readathon where obviously they're just focusing on reading mystery novels. So I wanted to kind of dip my toe into that, not do it for the whole of the month, but I thought I'd pick out a book in honour of that, and I picked out The Unseen World. This is a book that I have started before, but I just didn't get around to finishing, and I've heard absolutely fantastic things about it. It's about a girl and her father is some sort of a really intelligent scientist, I think, and then he starts developing, I think, Alzheimer's, and then leaves her clues as to kind of something that's going on, and then she has to work out something. I don't really know more than that, but I've heard absolutely fantastic things about it, and I thought it was high time that I picked it up, and March Mystery Madness was the perfect opportunity to do that. It is also middle grade March next month, so this is another readathon that's being hosted by Katie from Life Between Words and Krista from Books and Jams, and they're basically going to be spending March reading middle grade novels, and there are various challenges to do with that. So again, I'll leave a link down below to their announcement videos so you can go and check those out as well. So in honour of middle grade March, I'm going to be reading Ruth Toppers, and this is by Catherine Rundell, and I think this won the Waterstones Children's Book Prize a couple of years ago, and it's got this various shortlisted things down here, and it was the winner of the Blue Peter Book Award as well. I don't really know anything about what this book is about. Yeah, so we'll kind of go into it blind. My husband's read it and he said it was quite good, so it's been sitting there on my TBR for quite some time, so again, perfect opportunity to pick it up for middle grade March. This next book I was sent by the publisher for review, and that is Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. This is a YA novel that's already been published in the US, but it's being published in the UK on the 5th of April, I believe. So I really want to read this in March so I can review it for you guys a bit nearer to the publication date in the UK and let you guys know my thoughts on it. But this is sort of a contemporary novel, and it focuses around a girl called Kiko, and she's half Japanese and she doesn't really understand her heritage, and she's having a bit of a hard time with kind of her parents and trying to discover who she is, and that's kind of all I know about it at the moment. So I'm absolutely a massive fan of the cover. I think it's stunning, so I'm really looking forward to reading this in March and letting you guys know what my thoughts are on it. I'm also going to be doing a buddy read with Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, and we're going to be reading Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. So I put up my ARCs TBR and she commented on that video and said, I've got a copy of this as well, why don't we read this together in March? So I was like, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So this is, I believe, a sort of epic fantasy novel, and it's the first novel in a series, and he recently announced what the third book is going to be called, and I can't remember it off the top of my head now, so I'll leave the title down here. But the second book is called Godsgrave, and that came out last year. So this is focusing around Mia. She's 10. When she's 10, she's given her first lesson in death. And then 6 years later, the child raised in shadows takes her first steps towards keeping the promise she made on the day that she lost everything. So it says at the bottom, the Red Church is no Hogwarts, but Mia is no ordinary student. The shadows love her and they drink her fear. So I think it's going to be quite dark. Again, my husband's read this and he said absolutely fantastic things about it. So even though it's quite chunky, how many pages have we got? We've got like over 600. 643. The text is actually quite big in here, so I think it's going to go by a little bit quicker than what I expect it to. But this is one I'll be trying to kind of pick my way through across the month, I think, and try and take it a little bit slowly, because yeah, I'm not going to get through this quickly at all, but it's there and I'm looking forward to buddy reading it with Sarah. Then I'm also going to be reading in March Children of Blood and Bone, and this is by Tomi Adeyemi. This is coming out in March, I think. I can't remember the exact release date, so again, I'll leave it on the screen for you guys. But this is a YA fantasy novel that is set in West Africa, and it focuses around a main character who is trying to get magic back, and magic has kind of been outlawed in this particular world, and it's about her kind of journey to try and get magic back. And I've heard really good and fantastic things about it. So I have an arc of this on my Kindle, and I'm also being sent a physical copy of this as well, so I'll be part of the blog tour for it. So look out for a video on my channel shortly after it's released, in celebration of this book. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I don't read a lot of YA fantasy, and this premise just sounds really good, and the setting sounds really good, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. So I have my BookTuber recommends jar here, so we're going to pick something out of here to read in March too. I'm going to have to be careful about what I pick because I've got Nevernight on my TBR and I still haven't finished The Pillars of the Earth. I'm nowhere near finishing that, so I kind of want to try and pick something a bit shorter, so that I actually have a chance of reading it. So we'll see what this is. Okay, that's cool. So this is Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet, and this is by Jamie Ford. So this was recommended to me by Kerry Ann from Woman vs Books. So I'm going to have to get a copy of this from my library because I don't own it, and I know that my library has it, so I will go on there and yeah, request it and see how long it takes to come through basically. Didn't have much luck with Yellow Crocus, but I don't know, maybe someone has squirreled that away somewhere and it's lost in the library system forever. So hopefully I have more luck with getting this one, as this probably would be one that I read later on in March. And then here is my themes jar. We'll give these a little bit of a shuffle and then I'll pick out something. Let's see what this one is. Okay, so we've got prize winners. So I'm going to go and have a little look at my shelves, pick out a few books and come back and tell you what I've picked. Okay, so I'm back and I've picked out 5 books off of my TBR. So I'll go through what they are now. So the first one is Reservoir 13, and this is by John McGregor. And this won the Novel Award for the Costa Book Awards in 2017. It was also longlisted for the Man Booker Prize last year too. So I just picked up a paperback copy of this, and I'm really interested in reading it. I believe it's about a kind of village where a girl goes missing and then the town comes together to try and search for her. It's kind of about that basically, and then how people get on with their lives. So it's actually quite short. It's just over 300 pages and the text is quite big too, so yeah, looking forward to that one. The other one I picked out was Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad, and this won the Pulitzer Prize in 2017. I think it also won the Arthur C. Clarke Award for Science Fiction last year too, so it's won a couple of different prizes, and then it was longlisted was it for the Man Booker? I think it was for the Man Booker prize as well. So a lot of acclaim. Oh look, and it says winner of the National Book Award here too. I didn't even notice that. So a lot of acclaim for this book, and this is about the about slavery in the South and about the fictional Underground Railroad. So yeah, really looking forward to picking that one up. Also, when I was browsing on my shelves, I noticed that this won the Pulitzer Prize too. This is The Namesake, and it's by Jhumpa Lahiri. I don't know whether I said that properly, and I apologise if I haven't. This says on the back, Gogol is named after his father's favourite author. But growing up in an Indian family in suburban America, the boy starts to hate the awkward name and itches to cast it off, along with the inherited values it represents. Determined to live a life far removed from that of his parents, Gogol or Gogol, I don't know, I don't think I'm saying that properly, sets off on his own path only to discover that the search for identity depends on much more than a name. So I think it's going to be kind of like a coming of age story and about different cultures, and I think that sounds really interesting. Then I have here Lisa McKerney's The Glorious Heresies, and this won the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2016. And this, I believe, has got to do with gangs. Is it in Ireland? I don't know whether it's in Ireland. I don't know, but I know it's got something to do with gang life and that sort of thing. So really interested in reading that. It says it also won the Desmond Elliott Prize for debut fiction too. So yeah, looking forward to picking that one up. And then the last book that I've picked out is The Lie Tree, and this is by Frances Hardinge. This is a YA fantasy novel, or like magical realism novel, I believe, which won the Costa Book of the Year award in 2015. And this is, I believe, about a little girl whose father has died, and she goes to visit this tree, and it's called the Tree of Lies. And I think she has to whisper it a secret, and then it'll give her a clue about her father or something like that. So yeah, I've heard some good things about it. So, and with it being YA, I think it'll be an easy read. So yeah, looking forward to that too. So there you go guys, that is my TBR for March, as well as A Children of Blood and Bone. So quite an ambitious TBR, but we like a challenge, definitely. So I'm going to put these down because these are really heavy. So I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments below. Have you read any of these and what did you think of them? And what are you planning on picking up in March? Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.